Well, hello. So, if you've been watching my channel lately, and if you've been paying attention, you probably know that I have been laid off from my job. And it kind of hit me pretty hard when it happened. I think it's hard to say goodbye to a job that you like. And it wasn't so much the job that I liked, it was the people I was working with that I really enjoyed. I loved my boss. I loved my team. So anyway, I don't want to get into that, but I have had some time since it happened to reflect. Today that I'm filming this video is September 11th, and so today is Thursday. My last day of work was last Wednesday, and I was given the news 2 weeks before that. So I've had about 3 weeks to think about this and to kind of process it. I can smile about it now. I haven't cried about it in a while. Very proud of myself for that. So I want to talk about it today. I've got a couple of things I want to talk about today. You know, the realization that I've had about myself since this has happened. It might be somewhat of a long video. I've got some laundry here. I'm going to be folding laundry. I've got a beverage in the window. I would encourage you to grab a beverage. You do not have to be folding laundry, but I cannot not multitask, so I will be multitasking today. Also, if you see me looking exactly like this in another video or two, that is because I'm filming these like sit-down type videos all at once, like not obviously simultaneously, but consecutively, mostly because I don't like posting sit-down videos like this one right after the other. I like to kind of mix them in when I feel like they kind of make sense. But I do have different things I want to talk about. 3 very different topics that I want to talk about. So if I look like this in 3 different videos, yes, they were all filmed the same day. Anyway, let's get into it. Put that right there. That is my Sunshine Squad shirt, and I love it. Actually, I'll do this with all 3 of them, just because they make me happy. Getting started, I have come to realize that I personally place a lot of importance, a great deal of importance, on my employment status. I have a lot of emotions and self-worth tied up in what I contribute to society as a whole, as well as to my family. I guess my family unit. Kind of have a atypical family with, you know, my boyfriend and his old roommate, my friend Thomas, living with us. But you know what? That's our family right now, is everyone that lives here in this house. Personally, I don't think it's entirely a bad thing, because it does serve as like an intrinsic motivation to be a positive influence on the world around me, to make things better, to serve other people. But where it becomes toxic for me is that I feel almost but not entirely worthless when I don't have a job, which is not true. When I'm not actively contributing to like the household income and the goals of whatever employer I have or may have at the time, it's difficult for me, and I find that to be a very challenging situation. And I place a lot of blame on myself. So I've come to realize that. Also, the shirts that I'm going to be tossing to the side, I'm going to be hanging up. But I need to show you this one because he's really cute. I got this on Etsy before I got laid off. How cute are these little kitty cats? So I have realized that I am more like SpongeBob SquarePants than I am like Squidward, okay? And there's nothing wrong with either one of these characters. Personally, I think, you know, together they make Bikini Bottom a better place. There's a lot to admire about SpongeBob SquarePants. He loves his job. He's inclusive of everyone. Patrick is not exactly the smartest tool in the shed, but he's nice to Patrick. SpongeBob is also nice to Squidward, who's not exactly nice to SpongeBob. He loves his job. He likes to perform well at work. He likes to make his boss and the customers happy. But a lot of his identity is tied up in his job at the Krusty Krab, and he takes it really hard when he gets sent home early from work. you know, like when he gets sick or something. He lives to work. And Squidward, on the other hand, works to live. Squidward has hobbies and he works to fund the lifestyle that he wants to live. His identity is founded in his personality, his likes, his dislikes, his hobbies, not in his employment status or his position at work. A lot of what I think I share with SpongeBob is that I feel like a lot of my identity and my self-worth is tied up in my employment status, and it's not so much like the job title, it's having a job and making a difference in someone's life somewhere. And I know that having a job is not the only way to do that. You know, there are plenty of people out there in the world who don't have jobs and they still manage to make a difference in someone's life, and that's the important part, right? So I know I probably need therapy for this aspect of my personality. I honestly, until I have insurance again, I'm going to try to work through this on my own, and I doubt that I will ever be able to change such a fundamental aspect of myself, but I do believe that I can start working on accepting myself as I am, as a whole human being, regardless of my state of employment, because like everyone else is. So why can't I? But I can still retain my enthusiasm to be employed, to go to work, to make a difference, because the truth is I want to make the world a better place in whatever way that I can, starting with the way that I know how. And I do like to work. The truth is I really like to work. I like to go to work. I like to interact with my coworkers. I like to make a difference. I like to perform at a high level. I like having something at the end of the day that I can say, I did that and it made a difference to someone, and I know how it worked and I know that I can replicate it and do it again. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think I just tend to take it maybe a little bit too far when I feel like I have no value, like no value, and I serve no purpose. So I am learning to accept myself as I am, as a whole human being. I am keeping myself busy though. So I am still trying to like do something, but I think that that's the beauty in that. I've been given the gift of time, you know? So honestly though, I'm doing much better than I was. I do have hope that the right thing is going to come along. To be honest, this job that I was doing, it hasn't felt right in months. So if you remember, if you watched them, when I was on my cruise to Alaska, we were in Juneau. It was the day that I was joking about the cursed shirt. I touched the cursed shirt. But I found out that day that my team and everyone that was working on that particular project, so not just my team, but every agent in that call center was going to be moved to a different project. I didn't know how it was going to work. I had hope that it was going to work differently than it turned out to. And it just kind of turned out that we were put in a thankless position. We were helping a team, a call center team that was like severely underprepared, understaffed for the situation that they had been suddenly thrust into. And my team was given very little training, if you can call what they got training at all. I'm using that very loosely, very generously, but it was really difficult because there was a situation that we were trying to prepare for, and I had concerns and I expressed those concerns, and I felt like I was given no power to make a change when I saw something that needed to be fixed. And when I brought it to the attention of someone who had that power, they basically told me, either we don't do things like that here, or stay in your lane, essentially, or it's on my to-do list and I'm going to work on it. Okay, but then months passed and nothing changed. So it was a frustrating experience for me and for my team because we were put in this position and given no kind of authority or even autonomy to do what needed to be done. And it was almost, I don't even want to say almost, in some cases it was a hostile work environment. So in a way, it is not a bad thing that that time of my career has ended, but I will say I learned so much from that employer, from the time I was hired until the time I left. It was a time of extreme growth for me as a professional in this industry. And if you don't know what I do, I am in workforce management. So I essentially manage a call center, but I don't supervise the agents. I run a lot of the background software programs and analytics. So I run a lot of like reports in Excel, which makes me so happy because I love it and I'm good at it. And I'm actually really very good at what I do. And I love it. And you're probably thinking, how do you make a difference in somebody's life with that? Well, even if I don't make an immediate difference in the lives of every single caller, which I can't say that I do or don't, you know, that's kind of a day-to-day situation. I know for a fact I have made the lives of call center agents better in so many situations, and that is something I am extremely proud of. I'm doing okay. I know that actually God provided this job for me when I was feeling desperate to leave my previous situation, and I know He's going to provide another opportunity for me. And I guess my point in saying all of this is that, like, everything serves a purpose. There's a time for everything, and I firmly believe that. Relationships, travel, I feel like people come into your life for a reason, and sometimes it's just for a season, but I feel like every person in your life serves a purpose that is, you know, not their own purpose or your purpose, but like every person in your life has been put in your path for a reason. You're going to learn from them, they're going to learn from you, and it could be anything. They're going to teach you how to be a better person, they're going to teach you how to clean your car, they're going to teach you, you know, the meaning of something. And I firmly believe that every person serves a purpose, and every opportunity, every phase of our life serves a purpose. I'm gonna be okay. And I am doing okay right now. You can tell I'm able to smile and I'm not crying and I'm talking about this and I'm okay. So I am honestly doing better. But that brings me to my plans, and I'm gonna pull my notes out for this. So for my plans, I have a lot of time on my hands right now. I want to talk about what I'm going to do with it. So I'm filming this on the 11th of September. And in the last 2 weeks, sort of, I have been kind of buckling down on some things. First thing, I'm applying to jobs. The rule I've set for myself is applying to no less than 2 jobs every single day. Some job applications are extremely involved, some of them are extremely simple. Sometimes there are more jobs on LinkedIn to apply to, and sometimes there are less. So the rule of thumb is no less than 2, and I've been doing that every single day for the last 10 days, I think. So I'm doing okay with that. It's only been a couple of weeks, and we have had like Labor Day holiday, you know, in the last 2 weeks. So I'm not discouraged yet, and I do feel this sense of peace that something's gonna happen for me when it's the right time. Next, I am still enrolled in my classes for my oncology data specialist certification, and classes just actually started up the end of August. So I had a nice couple weeks of break in August. It was like the break between the summer and fall semester, which was nice, but we're back to school. So I'm not gonna let that go, but having more time on my hands has been allowing me to dedicate more time to school, and that will continue. So I am dedicating more time to school. And then finally, the projects I have planned. So I do have several things that I didn't think I was gonna get to do until like next year after Christmas. Just because of the way things were panning out. Like, I was kind of panicked, not panicked, but kind of like feeling this pressure, like, oh no, there's only so many weekends until Christmas. And then, you know, like, because there are things I want to do, like paint the dining room. Spoiler alert, I did that last week and it was wonderful. I didn't think I was going to be able to do that until after Christmas because I don't want to paint when all the Christmas decorations are out. It just doesn't make sense to me. But getting to do that last week, clearly before Christmas, gave me a huge sense of peace. So, similarly to that, I suddenly have a lot of time on my calendar, so why not take advantage of that time and put it to good use and get some projects done. So, of course, I'm going to be bringing you guys along with me, and I actually have been for the last couple of weeks vlogging so much. Since I've got so much more time, I'm going to be able to make more videos to post on this channel. I've kind of reworked my upload schedule to include the additional videos that I have been filming, and then also the additional videos that I will be able to film when I'm in Alaska, because I am sharing this with you right now because this video will go up after I'm already there. So I'm going to be in Alaska for about 4 weeks. If you know Adam and Sherry Legg, they're my friends, and if you don't know them, Adam and Sherry Legg run the channel Leg Life, and they are going to Mexico to celebrate their 20th anniversary, and they're going to be gone for 3 weeks. Normally this wouldn't be a problem, but they just got a kitten like several months ago, so I get to be Auntie Auburn and to go babysit Captain America for 3 weeks, and the plan was for me to like work from their house because my job was remote, so it was going to work out just fine. That is no longer going to happen. So instead of me working from their house, I'm just going to be enjoying a month in Alaska in the fall, and I am so excited. All this to say, you can now expect way more videos from me on this channel starting this week. So assuming all goes to plan, I'm going to be posting 6 videos a week for the foreseeable future. I am not trying to work myself to death, but since I've got the time, I might as well take advantage of that time and put it to good use. It's looking like I'm going to post a video every day from Sunday through Friday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No videos on Saturday, probably. We will see. The really good news for you is that very soon I will have some Alaska videos coming your way. And until then, I hope you enjoy watching how I spend my time between my last day of work and like the day I fly to Alaska. But before I wrap up today, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of you for your kind words to me regarding this challenging time of my life. So you've all been so kind and supportive. And you've also been very respectful of my feelings about this event. So I want to say thank you for allowing me to be very candid about my life and my feelings about the things that I'm going through without fear. So that is what I wanted to say thank you to you all for. So thank you for being so kind and supportive. I'm doing okay. And I know I keep saying that, but it's true, and I just want you to understand I'm not happy with the situation. I am at peace with how things have gone and how things are going, and I just have this feeling that things are going the way they're meant to. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye because I'm going to post another video tomorrow. It will not be a sit-down video, don't worry. These are not my favorites to film or to edit, but I do think that it was necessary for me to sit down and talk to you guys, so I did that. Thank you for watching. You guys will see me in another video tomorrow. Bye!